Tank, what's your prediction of your upcoming fight with Lamont Roach?
He's gonna sleep for sure. Soften him up.
Gervonta Davis sees himself as an unstoppable force in boxing, a true champion and a knockout specialist who has dominated every opponent in his path. But during his latest face-off with Lamont Roach, Roach didn't back down or show any fear.
Yeah. Tank all day, baby. Tank all day. Easy work. Easy work.
Roach looked beyond the confidence and saw a fighter whose self-belief borders on overconfidence. With their showdown set for March 1st at New York's Barclays Center, Davis's confidence is just as powerful as his devastating left hand. His mindset has been a major topic in the boxing world for months. As he gears up to defend his title, he's made a bold declaration. He plans to retire by the end of the year. Though his statements have been somewhat contradictory, this claim has only added more fuel to the fire.
Thrown away now.
That's cool. At the end of the day, I got one goal. It's only gonna be one winner. That's gonna be me. Whether you're gonna lay down, or you gonna get down, or you gonna lay.
Some fans are eager to see how Davis ends his career, but others are frustrated with the opponents he's been picking. Lamont Roach Jr. is just the latest name in a lineup of fighters critics believe are easy challenges for Tank. With top contenders like Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, and Raymond Maratala waiting for their shot, many question why Davis hasn't taken on a tougher test to solidify his legacy. Davis didn't ignore the criticism, addressing it in a recent conversation with fellow Baltimore native Jay Hill. The interview revealed a side of him that fans rarely get to see.
I think he actually took this fight for the naysayers and all this and all the people talking shit about the fight. I think he actually took the fight because he know that I'm a dog, and he want to prove his skills against a dog. So I'm gonna show y'all what happens when two dogs get in the ring together.
He was raw, unfiltered, and didn't hold back. Skill for skill. None of these guys can mess with me. Nobody, Davis said with complete confidence. In his mind, he's already levels above the entire lightweight division. But he didn't stop there. Davis made a bold statement that many saw as disrespectful. My skills are way better than Floyd's. Like if I'm on my game. Well, yeah, I take that back. Probably hand to hand. It didn't take long for him to second-guess his own words, realizing the storm they could create. While Davis has always looked up to and been mentored by Floyd Mayweather, their relationship has been complicated. Comparisons to Floyd are inevitable, but claiming to have surpassed his former mentor definitely raised some eyebrows.
I say ninth round.
What?
I say ninth round.
You said 9?
Yeah.
What's your response to that, Lamont?
Look, he got scared. Look. He looked at ninth.
I'm telling you, you saying you going down in a 9?
This confidence hasn't gone unchallenged. Lamont Roach fired back, suggesting Davis was getting ahead of himself. Roach, who sees himself as the next WBA lightweight champion, has been training relentlessly for this fight. The underdog label doesn't bother him, it fuels him. Adding to the debate, Terrence Crawford, a master strategist, weighed in on Davis's vulnerabilities. Crawford believes that only two fighters, Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis, have the skills to truly expose Tank's weaknesses. The stage is set, but Davis remains locked in, fully convinced that he is an unstoppable force.
I promise you, you better lead them home. You better lead the females home. On my mother, you better lead the females home and the kids. On my mother.
However, confidence doesn't always mean perfection. While Davis's power and knockout record are undeniable, some of his technical skills often go unnoticed. He's widely praised for his relentless punching, but when it comes to defense, head movement, and overall ring control, critics believe there's still room for improvement. Even Turki Ellerby, a major figure in the boxing world, shared his thoughts in a recent conversation with Mike Coppinger. Ellerby didn't hold back. Gervonta Davis is an outstanding in-fighter, he said, but he needs to step up his competition. Facing fighters like Stevenson, Davis, or Maratala is the only way he can cement his legacy as one of boxing's all-time greats.
Say Davis just said in a new interview that Lamont Roach Jr. is more skilled than Ryan Garcia and Frank Martin.
He more skillful than Ryan Garcia? Yes. Skill-wise, he hit harder than Ryan Garcia? I don't know. Skill-wise, he's better than
Isaac Cruz's name always finds its way into these discussions. Though not known for his technical skills, Cruz managed to go the full 12 rounds with Davis, a performance that chipped away at Tank's aura of invincibility. If Cruz could withstand Davis's power and avoid a knockout, what would happen if Davis faced an opponent with elite-level skill and strategy? It's a question fans are eager to see answered, but Davis's choice of opponents has kept that mystery alive. His greatest strength, or his biggest weakness, could be his ability to self-reflect. In moments of confidence, he may overlook flaws that sharper eyes can see. And if Lamont Roach steps into the ring on March 1st with a solid game plan, the boxing world might witness a shakeup no one saw coming.
50 is what Tank and Frank did, and Frank wasn't a champion. Roach has been around. He lost to Jamel Herring. He came back from defeat to be a world champ. I think it'll do a good 450, 500.
I think it.
Lamont Roach Jr. isn't stepping into the ring on March 1st just for a paycheck. He's coming to settle an old score. With his fight against Gervonta Tank Davis fast approaching, Roach has made it clear this is more than just a title fight. It's personal. He's carrying the weight of past defeats, dating back to 2011 when he and Davis clashed twice as amateurs. Both times, Davis walked away victorious, leaving Roach to dwell on those losses for over a decade. Now, with the WBA lightweight title on the line, Roach is determined to rewrite history. He hasn't been shy about making his intentions known, using any platform to send a message. On Valentine's Day, what started as a playful jab on social media turned into a viral exchange. Roach posted a pointed poem, "Roses are red, violets are blue, March 1st sounds like, and the new." The message was clear, he was coming for Davis's title. But Davis, never one to back down from trash talk, fired back with his own version. "Roses are red, violets are blue, March 1st sounds like, don't worry baby, you'll be home soon from the hospital." With fight night approaching, tensions are at an all-time high.
It's gonna be a party
And
on your
I'm
floor.
gonna let y'all know something. His father was up here
It's
shaking
gonna
on the what's
be-
the name? He was shaking on the
Thank everybody that played a part in it. My team, Roberto Diaz, Gary Jonas.
on my kids. He was shaking on this thing. On my kids, he was
never.
shaking. How you gonna say his cap? And
It gotta be.
you gonna say his cap? Why?
The back and forth only added fuel to a fight that's been brewing for over a decade. Both men know what's at stake: pride, legacy, and the championship belt. But despite the heated social media exchanges, not everyone is convinced Roach is the one to dethrone Davis. Boxing legend Terrence Crawford shared his thoughts in a recent interview with Fight Hype, casting doubt on Roach's ability to go the distance. Crawford suggested that while Roach may have some skill, his mental toughness could be his downfall against a relentless fighter like Davis. They might have a little skill here and there, Crawford said, but mentally, they're not going to be able to keep it up that whole fight.
Defeated and what champ? Come on, man, tell me what belt. You know boxing. You forgot Devin Haney is undisputed. Devin Haney got all the belts. He the champ. Nobody else the champ. I'm gonna come up here where the big boys at. All right, I'll welcome him.
Let's be real, Davis's record speaks for itself. With 30 wins and 28 knockouts, he's left a trail of beaten opponents, including names like Ryan Garcia and Frank Martin. But Roach isn't focused on numbers. He's focused on dismantling Davis piece by piece, both physically and mentally. He knows Davis thrives on breaking opponents down psychologically before delivering the knockout blow, but this time, Roach plans to flip the script. His strategy is to stay composed under pressure, stick to his own game plan, and avoid falling into Davis's rhythm. For Roach, this fight is about more than just a belt. It's about proving his place among the best. The biggest motivations for this fight are being able to show I'm really one of the best fighters in the world, Roach said.
It'd be like, I don't know, it'd be little clips like you see how like me and him was talking and then somebody else talked like his crew.
Mm-hmm.
That's what get me up. Like that's what make me like, I always want to prove to somebody that I'm like they not.
And the stakes couldn't be higher. Roach knows that a victory over Davis wouldn't just change his career, it would change his life and his family's future for the better. After I win, my life and my family's lives will change drastically for the good, he stated, making it clear this fight is about more than just a title. He's not just fighting for himself, he's fighting for his family, his city, and the respect he believes he's been denied. Beating Davis wouldn't just be a win, it would elevate him from a solid contender to a household name. In camp, Roach has been training like never before, working with sparring partners handpicked to replicate Davis's speed, power, and aggression. He's been focusing on movement, defense, and keeping the fight in the center of the ring, knowing that standing still against Davis is a recipe for disaster. His father, Lamont Roach Sr., has been instrumental in keeping him mentally locked in, shutting out the outside noise and ensuring every training session is about execution, not distractions. Roach understands that from the opening bell, he has to stay in Davis's face, because the moment an opponent shows hesitation, Davis pounces. Roach refuses to give him that advantage.
I'm not looking at Lamont the way that everybody else look at Lamont. Like I know Lamont is a really good fighter. I'm not. This ain't no Frank Martin. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
It's a real good.
The strategy is simple: stay calm, stay sharp, and prove to Davis that intimidation won't be a factor. If Roach can execute that plan, he has a real chance of breaking down the mental barriers Davis usually builds around his opponents. Meanwhile, Davis has been keeping fans on edge with his unpredictable behavior. For months, the Baltimore native has been making cryptic statements about his career, leaving many unsure of what's next. The biggest shock came on Christmas Eve when Davis dropped a bombshell that sent the boxing world into a frenzy. Without any warning, he announced that his highly anticipated fight with Roach was canceled. No explanation, no clarification, just a social media post that left fans and analysts scrambling for answers.
Talk to me about the mental preparation going to this fight with Lamont. Fans, they kind of sleeping on Lamont, but you know Lamont's fighting style. Y'all fought.
Yeah, people don't know him, but Lamont is a good fighter. Like he ain't no slouch. Like I fought him in the amateurs. Like
naturally, fans jumped to conclusions, speculating that this might be yet another one of Tank's infamous meltdowns. Davis's unpredictability isn't new, but this time, something felt off. The timing was strange, and with no confirmation from his team, it seemed like another case of him throwing a wrench into his own plans. However, just when it looked like the fight might slip away, Lamont Roach and his father, Lamont Roach Sr., stepped in to set the record straight. They quickly reassured fans that the bout was still scheduled as planned. The situation could have spiraled into chaos, but both fighters managed to keep their focus on the showdown ahead. Despite the brief confusion, the momentum never wavered, and now, Roach and Davis are fully locked in for their highly anticipated March 1st, 2025, clash at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn.
There's a rematch clause, people, so get ready for 2 fights. But, yes, and after I beat him the second time, I probably would ask the WBA to let me go up to 140 and fight right.
Roach, for his part, was just as baffled as everyone else when the cancellation rumors started swirling. While fans on social media were in a frenzy, he refused to get caught up in the drama. During a recent Q&A session on his YouTube channel, he addressed the situation with his usual calm demeanor. When a fan asked directly, "Why did people say the fight was canceled or that you pulled out?" Roach simply smiled before giving his take. "Gervonta Davis is like a wild card," he said. "You never know what he's going to do next." The 29-year-old Washington native admitted that Davis's unpredictability is something he's had to learn to deal with over the years. He wasn't fazed by the rumors or the confusion. His focus remained locked on what he could control.
Yeah, man, I mean, it's going to go. Tank going to be losing the first 3 rounds. Then he's going to download the data. Then he going to knock this dude out in round 7 or 8. Then he going to do the backflip. Then Jim Gray's going to get in the ring, or Caleb Plants for White, and say, "Who do you want next?" And Tank's going to say, "I want all those guys." And they're going to go to the press.
Roach has been through it all in his own journey, and he isn't about to let any of Davis's antics throw him off course. He knows Tank well enough to understand that Davis moves to his own rhythm, making decisions that often seem puzzling from the outside. Whether it's an emotional tweet or a cryptic post, Davis keeps the boxing world guessing. But Roach isn't concerned with the mind games. He sees it as business as usual. He has his own fight to prepare for, and nothing will pull him away from that goal. The mental side of boxing is just as crucial as the physical, and Roach is staying sharp for what could be the biggest challenge of his career. "I don't let that stuff affect me," Roach said. making it clear he won't get caught up in drama or distractions. Instead, he's channeling all his energy into preparing for the fight of his life. He knows that beating Davis would change everything: his career, his life, and his legacy. But for now, his focus remains locked on the prize, letting the outside noise roll off his back.
One's been able to solve Tank Davis. What do you need to do together with you and your team and obviously your son to score that victory?
We got a game plan. We're gonna execute it, and we're gonna get the
Move
results.
that head, bob and weave, bob and weave.
As the countdown to their Brooklyn showdown continues, Roach remains as locked in as ever. His camp is in full swing, and he's preparing for Davis with laser focus and professionalism. On the other side, Gervonta Davis looks sharp and ready, already maintaining a weight close to fighting form. Unlike some fighters, such as Keyshawn Davis, who often carry extra weight before cutting down to 135 pounds, Tank stays lean and prepared throughout camp. Keyshawn sometimes looks more like a welterweight before shedding pounds, but Tank doesn't rely on drastic weight cuts to gain an advantage. He's a natural lightweight, not someone trying to game the system by dropping weight at the last minute.
It's gonna be a party on your floor.
I'm gonna let y'all know, son. His father was up here shaking on the what's the name? He was shaking on the
Thank everybody that played a part in it. My team, Roberto Diaz, Gary Jonas.
On my kids, he was shaking on this thing. On my kids, he was shaking. How you gonna say it's cap? And
it gotta be.
You gonna say it's cap?
Interestingly, Tank's longtime trainer, Calvin Ford, has been noticeably absent lately, sparking speculation that the two may have parted ways. Ford has been a key figure in Tank's career for years, so his disappearance hasn't gone unnoticed by fans and insiders. Leonard Ellerby, who knows Davis well, shared his thoughts on the situation during a conversation on the laboratory with Plas. He also addressed Tank's recent announcement about retiring after 3 more fights, saying he understands the reasoning behind it. "I can understand where he's coming from. Things are different when you have kids. It changes your life. It completely changes your life," Ellerby said.
My whole family's from DC. My whole family, like my entire family.
Don't bring them. Don't bring them.
For what?
Don't bring them. I'm telling you.
They gonna celebrate with me.
Don't bring them.
It's gonna be a party on your floor.
I'm gonna let y'all know, son. His father was up here shaking on the what's the name? He was shaking on the
Pops.
On my kids.
Ellerby also pointed out that Tank views things differently now than he did 6 or 7 years ago. If that's what he said, that he's retiring, and we all heard him, then no, it's never good enough, no matter what you do. And sometimes, that can be frustrating, he explained. He added that the constant pressure from fans and the never-ending demand for more fights can take a serious toll on a fighter. There's more to life than just what you do for a living. You respect the fans who pay their money to see you fight, but you also have a life outside of boxing. They want you to keep going, but they don't really care about your health afterward.
What?
Who said that? You said what? You said what? Yeah, that's why I've been waiting for the niggas to talk. How much you want back? How much you want it back? Because I came up here alone. How much y'all want back? How much you want back? Just cut it out. Huh? 100?
Ellerby acknowledged that while Tank's future looks promising, it's also filled with relentless challengers. Fighters like Andy Cruz, Edwin De Los Santos, and Keyshawn Davis are all chasing him, and Tank likely feels the pressure. These aren't easy fights, and he knows it. Even if he's confident in his ability to win, he also understands the grueling effort required for such high-stakes matchups. At this stage in his career, he may not be willing to endure that level of intensity. Ellerby also touched on the brutal nature of boxing and the toll it takes on a fighter's long-term health.
While I fight, when they start talking, that's when y'all get dumb. I'm gonna beat his ass.
He can't do shit with.
For real. So y'all better be quiet.
I don't give a fuck if y'all is quiet. If y'all is loud.
He got the whole hood over there.
Like twisted up. I don't give a.
Ellerby emphasized that boxing is an unforgiving sport, where many past fighters were taken advantage of and suffered long-term health consequences. He acknowledged that every fighter has different goals, and some prefer to make their mark and leave while they're still in good shape. However, with Davis's retirement announcement looming, the big question remains, will it be permanent? Ellerby suggested that Tank might not be done for good. Given his massive popularity and drawing power, a lucrative offer in the next 6 to 12 months could easily tempt him back into the ring, especially if the fight is against a high-profile opponent capable of making headlines.
Beat his ass for y'all talking. For real. So I better be quiet.
I don't give a fuck if y'all was quiet, if y'all was loud.
We got the whole hood over there, Tank.
Like, twist it up. I don't give a fuck about none of that.
Y'all can do whatever y'all want. My mother, he can't stop nothing over here.
None of that.
Not at all.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna f him up.
Not at all. Never. Nothing.
Roach, a reigning champion at 130 pounds, is making a bold move by stepping up in weight to challenge Davis. Despite being labeled the underdog, his skill set and self-belief make this matchup intriguing. Meanwhile, Davis, who last fought in June 2024, securing an 8th-round knockout over Frank Martin, knows he can't afford to take Roach lightly. He has committed to staying in peak condition for every fight leading up to his planned retirement. "I'm making sure that I do what I'm supposed to so I can be the best that I can," Davis declared. Whether he's up against Roach, Stevenson, Haney, or any other top contender, Davis appears determined to leave the sport on his own terms. Fans will be watching closely to see if he can add a few more iconic victories to his legacy before stepping away from the ring for good. How do you see this fight playing out? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.